It's wet. We're still going to try to get some wood out today. I'm going to be on the ground hooking choker cables, dragging cable to kind of speed things up, or at least actually even get to work and get wood out. These little ruts here from the other day, I'll take the skid steer and track these back in. John's on this 548, his first time, well, second time running it. Direct him here. Come straight on up here. We'll direct him here. Oh boy. Oh boy. No. Make a sweeping turn and come down through here, which this ties back into my road I was using the other day. And there, we'll wait. Cut some dead trees to start off the morning. There's, like I said in the other day's video, a lot of these trees are starting to die or show signs of decline. I'm gonna have to back in. We'll get him to back in here and I'll spool some cable out and grab him. This old ground, it's sandy ground anyway, so it's hard to get good traction when it's a little bit wet at all. I'm not really worried about getting stuck. It's like I said, it's hard to use the grapple and be able to get them out. We really need to bring one of the cable skidders down here, but this is what we got, so this is what we're going to use. All right, Kenny's got two right here cut first off. We're not going to cut anything up here along the gravel road just for aesthetics. We want all that to look good. The goal is we want it to look like we weren't even here. Just thin what needs to be thinned and leave these smaller ones to grow. Winching up these dead ones here. Still can utilize a tree. Still a lot of material left in them, but they are dead. Just keep winching it. That's good. Away she goes. I hate to see, I don't mind cutting this dead stuff because I like to try to utilize everything we can. We're already here logging anyway. Like I said, the trees are dead. I mean, there's no doubt about it. The tops crumbled to pieces when they hit the ground. No leaves, nothing but dead limbs. So that's starting to go bad in the heart, but still got good wood in them. So utilize. This is a pretty good place for John to learn on this grapple skidder. Slow day like today, just trying to get done what we can because of the weather. You know, whatever we get out, we're just happy to get out because it is wet. So and I'm going to try to get these hauled in today. We'll get them up here and decked. I can load up where the trucks are parked. I can just back in right there and load up. Tall trees. My dad was telling me he wish I could have seen what was cut out of here about 40-45 years ago off this track. He said there were some big trees then. I could only imagine because some of these we're cutting are pretty big. And see, like these trees here, yeah, they're big enough to cut, but there's no need in cutting trees like this right now. These are good trees. They're good for the wildlife. They've got a lot of growing left to do. Even this guy right here close to the road, we're gonna leave it. We're gonna focus on these trees down here over the bluff more, over the ridge. That one there, we'll probably take it, and this cluster right here, because it's surrounded by some little guys. It's mature. You can see starting to show a few dead limbs up there. So we'll bring it down. Good trees. Good trees. There goes one right there. We'll back. I'll have John come around the top here, and we'll go over here and get this other one. Now, growing up and cutting timber all through this area up through here, this has been a patch I've always noticed all my life. Because in the fall, when the vegetation's starting to kind of die off and the leaves are falling, this whole ridge right here, and even on this place, because this used to all be one place, and everything's changed ownership in the last 7 or 8 months when the original owner died. Anyway, it's always been a beautiful stand of timber, and you take notice to that. And I honestly, don't get me wrong, we cut a multitude of walnut, and I love cutting walnut, but I don't think there's any timber prettier than a stand of white oak in the hills and hollers. That's why I'm so adamant about really being particular about what trees are cut off this stand. Going through here and just thinning. I know, I preach about the thinning and being selective about harvesting. And when we get to the deck, most of the trees we've cut this morning, they've got holes in the heart. And it's their time to come down, because they're not going to get any better. They're only going to get worse. But I'd really like to cut the timber on this side of the road if we could kind of talk to the landowner about getting in on that, because the ridge runs a little further where the big ridge is. This is kind of a draw or holler right here. Holler, as us country folk call it, I guess. But that runs on down to this creek, and there's kind of a ridge that runs on up the road there. Of course, the next place over we've logged, but there is a ton of good white oak on this place here as well. A lot of good walnuts scattered on that place. It doesn't look it here, but you get back there and it's there. Back here by the fence, double checking to make sure where we are there. We try to stay in pretty close communication. Most of the time I'm on a skidder or cutting, or Kenny's cutting or on a skidder. But I'm hooking chokers today, so communication's key for safety for everybody. Nice. No damage to any residual trees. Put right down there in the other tops where we've already fell a few. Perfect placement. When John comes back, we'll direct him right in here. We'll spool out, winch the log up to him, because up here on top we're pretty solid. Of course, we're tracking because it's a little moist, but we're not cutting any ruts, which is good. That's what we want, because the less work I've got to do with the skid steer to fix ruts or roads, the better. Beautiful stand of timber. Wish we could have cut on it about 3 or 4 months ago before the vegetation come on, but I'm just happy to be cutting it now. This is a white oak we just cut. See, it's got some good growth rings on it, but see right here, it's starting to go bad. That's a shame. That's a shame. This red oak we cut up here where the saw's at, it's the same way. We'll go up here and look at it. Same way. Same way. Just old trees, old stand of timber. This will be the best thing for it, really. See, like that one there, look how bad it looks. Top's starting to die, not put leaves on. Kind of notch this one, bring it back down there towards the brush pile. It's probably going to get into that dead red oak that's hanging out there. We knew that before we started. Really not too bad though. Really not too bad. See, and just like that, looking right here, you don't even notice the tree being gone from the canopy too much. See another little dead one there, right beside it. I think this is going to be the last one we cut before lunch. Oh, there it goes. It's a pretty big tree there, I think. I'm going to head in, or up to the deck anyway. There's about, I don't know, 6 or 7 logs down. John will have to get out, but I'm going to go up and start working logs on the deck. That way I can start hauling out this afternoon, get them back on the yard. Weather's supposed to be decent tomorrow, so hopefully we'll have a good day of working tomorrow. Skidder's coming out with one. If you can see through my dirty windows. And I'm setting these logs up on some other logs that, some pieces that were left over the day we didn't get hauled out. We're gonna get them up off the ground to buck them. Save on some sharpening and some headache. John, he's going back after one more. Oh. I'm getting hungry. He's gonna have to hurry. It's no big deal. He's getting those. We'll get these set up and get bucking on them. Difference in the ground conditions in southern Missouri and northern Missouri. In northern Missouri, it's not that I think it's a great thing to cut into the dirt all the time, but one thing I will say about northern Missouri, it's good black dirt and it doesn't seem to dull our chains like working down here around home. This ground here, it's so sandy. Let's see if we can zoom in there. It's so sandy that, I mean, as soon as your chain gets close to it, you're dull. You are dull. Hey guys, if you like what you see, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for all of our latest videos.